3 games into the Premier League season and Arsenal sit rock bottom of the Premier League, having lost 5-0 to Man City with 10 men. The pressure really is on the shoulders of Mikel Arteta, as there are massive questions over his long-term future at Arsenal Football Club. But what went wrong for Arsenal today? Here are the 5 things that we learnt from Man City 5, Arsenal 0. The first thing that we learnt is Mikel Arteta is done out. Under Mikel Arteta's time at Arsenal have broken many a record. And while there has been the odd good record, most of them have been pretty bad and pathetic records. And as DJ Carlo would say, today it was another one that was broken today. As Optajo says, Arsenal have lost their first 3 league matches in a season for the first time since 1954-55 campaign. A lot of fans now have turned on Arteta. They are saying enough is enough, it is time to move him on. And as much as Arteta could be that guy, as of now, they have run out of patience, and there's a right reason for that. Arsenal are also now bottom of the Premier League table after 3 matches with a -9 goal difference. 9 goals conceded and 0 goals scored, which is for me the far bigger concern. Yes, Arsenal can lose to Chelsea and City, they're better teams than Arsenal, but we're yet to even score a single goal in the Premier League so far. And in terms of our front four today, Arteta had Aubameyang, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. Those are his 4 go-to guys. And so when you have stats like Arsenal managed only 1 shot today, the fewest they've ever had in a Premier League match, and that 1 shot wasn't even on target. This has become a regular occurrence under Mikel Arteta, and the Arsenal attack is my biggest concern because yes, we have injuries at the back and the midfield, but going forward we have everyone fit and available, and yet Arsenal still can't get shots away, let alone create chances. Arsenal have conceded more goals in 9 than they have registered shots on target 6 in the Premier League this season. More goals conceded than shots on target. Arteta's Arsenal's woes going forward continue and have been there from the start until now. And we're at the point now, if Arsenal don't sack Arteta now during this international break, when are they ever going to actually sack him? And as James Bench says, I don't know if Arteta survives this. What I do know is that there were people at Arsenal who would admit they left it too late to be decisive with Emery and getting his replacement. And so in many ways, if Arsenal want to sack Arteta, this is realistic the best possible occasion. But at the same time, if they want to show to the world that we want to back Arteta, they won't sack Mikel Arteta during this international break. In terms of the XG, Man City had 3.92 and Arsenal had a grand total of 0.11. This is not the Arsenal that I have grown up watching. Arsenal are known to be the team that plays the one-touch passing football, and even though we might concede goals, going forward we've always been a threat. But in terms of Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, it seems like we're conceding goals, but at the same time going forward, we can't create any chances. And it's not just today, but in terms of Arteta's entire reign, we've always struggled to create chances and ultimately score goals. And that despite having Nicolas Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Odegaard. These are expensive attackers, by the way. Pep Guardiola on Arteta says he's beyond a good manager. We were sad when he left. Sometimes people expect results immediately. The squad he played today, they had 6, 7 or 8 injured. Important players like Ben White, Thomas Partey, if they trust him, they'll do a good job at Arsenal. Once again, the mate of Mikel Arteta is backing Arteta, and it makes sense. You're always going to back your mate. But for me, it's enough about all this hypotheticals of what Arteta could be. It is time to get results on the pitch. I understand that Chelsea and City are better teams than Arsenal, but what about Brentford? A newly promoted team came out, beat us 2-0 and spanked us in front of the entire world. In terms of his game plan today, the fact that he wanted to press City despite missing 4 to 5 key players again was massively naive, and there's that naivety and constant errors that he's made, while a lot of Arsenal fans have just simply had enough. It's at the point now, if Mikel Arteta was to get sacked tomorrow, I don't think any sort of Arsenal fan can really disagree or defend it. But in terms of my personal feeling here, I don't think that Arsenal will sack Arteta. I think the saving grace for the manager is the fact that we have so many players that are injured, and that's what the board's going to look to, the Parteys, the Gabriels and co. And once those players return, then Arteta will have no excuses from the board side of things. But what are your own thoughts on Mikel Arteta? Are there still people that believe in his project? And to the fans that want to see him get sacked, what replacement do you guys have in mind? And it's not going to be Antonio Conte, it's not going to be Roberto Mancini or Luis Enrique. Arsenal fans, I hate to say it, but let's be a bit more realistic. On to the second thing, and that is Edu GASPAR'S failure. Yes, Mikel Arteta failed today. He is a part to blame for the results, but the fact that Sead Kolasinac is still employed by Arsenal, let alone starting for Arsenal, this goes back to Edu GASPAR. Here is a player who doesn't want to stay at Arsenal, who wants to terminate his Arsenal contract, yet is starting against Man City, against the best team in the league. And watching players like Holding and Chambers numbers get embarrassed makes me question why on earth did Arsenal now let go of William Saliba, because if Saliba was still here, he would have started the first 2 games and is far better equipped to play against the strikers that he's faced like Lukaku and today of course Ferran Torres. And in terms of Cedric Soares, I'm not one to rant, but don't you dare even get me started. We're talking 0 tackles, 0 successful dribbles, 0 ground duels won, 0 aerial duels won, 0 key passes, 0 crosses, 0 accurate long balls, 1 error leading to goal and a 44% passing accuracy. This is a player who's handed a 4-year contract under Arteta, Edu Gaspar and the Raul Sanllehi reign. Does Cedric start for any teams like West Ham or Everton or Brighton? No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's starting for Arsenal Football Club, and somehow we then expect our project to take a bang, like Arteta has said in the past. And in terms of shifting players out, that is a responsibility of Edu Gaspar. But with 3 days left of the transfer window, Maitland-Niles, Bellerin, Willian, Kolasinac, Nketiah and Cole, players that don't want to be here, are still here. Us fans always want to see new signings, but it is the departures and that failure on that behalf where Edu Gaspar takes massive blame, in my opinion. But what are your own thoughts on Edu Gaspar, and is it, dare I say, time to go? The third thing that we learned is the same old Granit Xhaka. This is something that we didn't learn today, we have learned years and years ago. I want to back Xhaka, I want to love Xhaka, I want to like Xhaka. I've seen his performances at Euros and he was top grade. He showed me levels of what he could be, and he is a decent midfielder on his day. But what I saw today from a 28-year-old experienced international captain midfielder, flying in 2-footed, yes he won the ball, but at the same time you were giving the referee a decision to make, and then receiving a red card and getting sent off 2-0 down, only making it harder for your teammates who already aren't good as it is. And add that all together and then add in the champions of England to that equation. Regardless of whether it was a red card or not, he takes massive blame for putting himself in that position in the first place. But do you guys think Xhaka should have got sent off? Was it a clean tackle or was it a red card in your opinion? And also Xhaka is another player who doesn't want to be here. He was twerking his ass off with Jose Mourinho and Roma. He was taking Italian lessons, and yet also like, you know what, let's give this guy a brand new contract. Again, it makes no sense to me squad planning wise. And once Thomas Partey is back, let's play him alongside Albert Sambi Lokonga, who once again, why was he dropped today? If you have Partey and Sambi, at least you have there a more press resistant midfield partnership and also far more mobility at the same time as well. But once again, let me know your own thoughts on Granit Xhaka. Do you still back him, and was it a red card? All that stuff down below in the comments. On to the fourth thing, and that is Bernd Leno ruins the build up. When it comes to reflexes, I have no doubts over Bernd Leno, but when it comes to playing out of the back, Bernd Leno, I'm sorry to say it, but you don't have the facilities for that, big man. Mikel Arteta wants his Arsenal team to play out of the back, but in terms of the Arsenal team, the Arsenal defenders, they don't trust Bernd Leno. So every time Leno gets the ball, the Arsenal players almost become nervous, don't want the ball, become a bit more reactive, and that's why they are prone to making more errors. Compare that to the other side, the Edison at Man City, who can walk out of his box, play in midfield and play passes left, right and centre, and this was in prime effect if you look at City's third goal. And in terms of our other goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale, I'm not going to say I'm his biggest fan, but at the same time he seems to be a better keeper when it comes to playing out to the back. Arsenal spent £25 million, and we are certainly not in the position to play a £25 million goalkeeper as a backup. If you're spending that sort of money, Arteta, Edu Gaspar and the Arsenal coaches think he's that guy, and if he is the guy, you better start him after the international break. But what are your own thoughts on Bernd Leno, and would you start Aaron Ramsdale over him come after the international break against Norwich City? And on to the fifth and final thing, and that is expensive mediocrity. One of the biggest excuses for Mikel Arteta today was that Arsenal had so many injuries, but need I remind you, even after those injuries, this team still cost near around £200 million. Yes, I understand City are worth a lot more, but at the same time, I've seen teams that are worth half of the current Arsenal team that play today, and they go and show more fight, more effort, more desire, and ultimately can get a better result. I am not angry that Arsenal lost against the league champions. I am angry with the performance and the level and the standard that Arsenal showed today. Watching that second half was painful. I wanted to switch off. Now I understand that we're not Chelsea, we're not City, we're not Man United. We don't spend that sort of money. And I also understand that yes, we have injuries. Every team has injuries. But at the same time, our squad still cost a lot more than West Ham and Leicester City. But then how come those teams there perform a lot better than Arsenal, and you could even argue have a better squad than Arsenal? But it remains to be seen how the Arsenal players return. Partey and Gabriel. You also have Lacazette on the bench today. And if he doesn't get sacked now, of course, I hope he turns around. I'm a fan of Arsenal Football Club. I want to see my team win. But at the same time, I'm not going to make it no secret. I have no hopes and no sort of expectations now going into this season. And I don't have a Scooby-Doo where Arsenal are going to finish in the Premier League. But if you guys do, let me know down below. Where do you guys think that Arsenal will finish in the Premier League this this season. But the worst thing about it now, my friends, is this pain, this embarrassment. I'm somewhat getting used to it. But overall, fair play to Man City and Mikel Arteta. Is it time to go? We're gonna have to wait and see. But that is the video there and there. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video. And while you're down there, please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was the latest episode of 5 Things We Learned. And we learned that Arsenal aren't that team, they aren't that guy. And it seems like Mikel Arteta ain't that guy either. But I will see you guys later anyways in a bit.